Hello and Assalamu alaikum everyone. A very happy Ramadan to all of you. We are back with another brand new episode of Boundary Baithak. We have our special analyst with us, Raiyan, like always. Hello Raiyan, how are you?
I'm pretty good. We're into the Super 8s.
Of course, I mean Namibia, easy win, right? A big margin, number 2 pe chale gaye table pe. Let's start with the team selection. What do you have to say about that?
I was actually quite surprised. I did not expect them to drop a brar. I don't specifically agree with it, but it was good to see Nafe into the side. I really rate him and hope he does well, but I don't know whether he'll stay in the team or they'll readjust accordingly.
और नाफे का क्या सीन था वो क्या लगा आपको?
Nafe, he played pretty well. I mean, he only played 5 balls.
Yeah.
His first shot was good, but he struggles a bit versus spin sometimes, starting out his innings. But he's a very good player of pace. That's why we really rate him. But let's see how he goes in this tournament.
And what about Saim?
Saim, he got 14 of 12, and I'm actually been quite surprised how his tournament has gone. Obviously, I didn't expect him to have like a 70-80 versus India, but I expected a better show there. And over here against a lesser team, basically, I thought he would fill his boots in, but he fell to that weakness that he does have with that wide ball outside off. But still, you should expect your opener. He's been around for a pretty long time now. Okay, he takes advantage of the power play and kicks on, but he got Sahibzada showing him exactly how he should go about it. So
Okay, so let's talk about Sahibzada Farhan. Finally, he performed. I mean, I was rooting for him like since the very first match, right? He scored a century, like boundaries, runs, whatever. And the body language, I think the confidence that he gets after putting those runs in the board, and obviously the overall target, he played the biggest part in it. What do you have to say about that?
yes, Sahibzada's rise has been immense, and it's actually a lesson to all the Pakistani batters out there that Sahibzada around 3-4 years ago, he was a typical anchor bat. He would open the batting. His overall numbers at the end of the season would be like 30, 35 average, 40 average, and 120 strike rate. And what he was seeing was that he wasn't getting selected for the national team because at that time Babar and Rizwan would be opening, and he was just more of the same. And also he wouldn't get selected for PSL teams because PSL teams would be out for openers who are aggressive, who take the game on, and they would either get that from domestic cricket, or if they would not find those batters, then they would just play international batters in opening positions. So what Sahibzada identified was that he wasn't getting picked for higher levels. So what he did was that he actually evolved his game. He was like, okay, I'm going to take on the power play. I'm going to attack off spin, which is his positive matchup. He did all of this. He changed his game a bit to be more aggressive. And what happened was that he started getting picked for PSL teams, and then he got picked for the national team. So it's a lesson to all Pakistani batters out there that if you adapt to modern day T20 cricket, you will perform and you will get picked for the national team, and you may end up like Sahibzada, who is currently Pakistan's second World T20 centurion and the highest scorer of the tournament.
Yeah, I was listening to and watching this interview, post-match interview with Wasim Akram, and the way he was answering, this whole body language energy was so great. Also, I just picked from what you were saying कि वो बता रहा था कि he does not miss any of the domestic matches when they were asking कि भाई तुम कैसे practice करते हो, how did you improve so much. तो वो अपना बता रहा था कि वो कोई domestic match भी नहीं miss करता. He keeps on practicing, and like you said, it all makes sense now. Next, I want to talk about the demotion of Babar the King. What happened there?
It was a logical decision by
Yeah.
the management that it's the 12th over, we're playing 9 batsmen for some reason, so there's no point sending in someone who is not as adept to hitting as some of the other batsmen. So let's just front load the hitters and then we'll see how it works out. But obviously it became a whole discourse because it was Babar. It was like, oh, Babar demoted. But it was pretty much a logical decision on my part.
Yeah, agreed. And what do you have to say about Shadab's innings?
Shadab, I think early on his innings really struggled to hit out, and at one point I think he was 21 or 17, which is definitely what you expect, especially with 5 other batters still to go and you're supposed to be out there hitting. So it wasn't, and Shadab does have that issue that his range and power versus pace is a bit limited as compared to his range and power versus spin. So he really lucked out that Namibia decided that the last over is going to be bowled by a spinner, and that's where he took full toll then.
Okay, and I also want your comments on Fahim's innings and Salman Mirza, both of them if you can put together.
Yeah, so Fahim opened the bowling, which was really funny because everybody's been complaining that oh Fahim को किस लिए खिलाया हुआ है, now उससे bowling होती है, हर 9 innings में उसकी batting आती है. So what's the point of Fahim? So the management said, okay, we'll just open the bowling with him then. Yeah. So it's interesting that they did it this game, but I don't think so they'll be looking forward to do it next game. Salman Mirza bowled pretty well. He definitely bowled that, he has that power play threat that Pakistan was expecting of Shaheen. So they're just hoping that he can keep this going then.
It's so ironic that we're not even talking about Shaheen anymore in this episode, but you know, like, it explains why we can't. Both of the Usmans, I believe, in my opinion, they performed really well. Obviously, Usman Tariq was there, but Usman Khan ki keeping in some of the catches and like the energy, even in the last clip chal raha hai bahut zyada uska, I think that was tremendous also. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, Usman's keeping has been pretty good, and that was always the fear of many people going into the tournament. कि हम तो कहते कोई कीपर नहीं लेकर जा रहे, सारे जो हमारे कीपर हैं like Farhan, Usman, Nafe, these aren't guys who regularly keep for their domestic teams, so everybody was like कि क्या होगा, कोई बड़े मैच में क्या ड्रॉप हो जाएगा, फिर होगा कि हम सही कीपर क्यों नहीं लेकर गए. But alhamdulillah, so far Usman's keeping has been very good, and Usman Tariq was immense. He was too good for this Namibia side, बेचारों को बिल्कुल खेला नहीं जा रहा था उसकी बॉलिंग.
आई थिंक नमीबिया के साथ पूरे टूर्नामेंट में ही अच्छा नहीं हुआ बेचारे, बट दे वर लाइक सो क्यूट एंड सो नाइस एंड लाइक द एनर्जी वाज सो गुड इन द एंड बिटवीन बोथ द टीम्स आल्सो. आई थिंक इट वाज अ गुड विन, अ गुड मार्जिन. टेबल पे भी हम नंबर 2 पे चले गए. वी मूव टू द नेक्स्ट राउंड नाउ. वी प्ले न्यूजीलैंड अगेन, राइट? So what do you think? Are we prepared for it? What's our strategy like? Is our team thinking about it? Like, the bowling attack is so good. The matches in Colombia also, like all of it all together. What do you have to say?
I think New Zealand are a very strong side. They are very dependent on their opening partnership, Finn Allen and Tim Seifert. Those guys have been setting the tone for them. They take on the power play. And I think that's something that Pakistan should think about, what are our power play options, because they don't want a situation like they had with Asian Kishan again, where the game was just taken away from them in the first 8 overs and then they were chasing it for the rest of the game.
Tell me a bit more about their bowling. What are their strong points? किन players को हमें more ज़्यादा target करना है, किन से ज़्यादा खतरा है, किन के साथ हमें थोड़ा careful रह के चलना है? What's that?
So New Zealand's bowling is interesting. They've actually conceded a lot of runs in the India games that they've played to associate nations. Like regularly उनको 180, 190 परे हैं, which is surprising considering New Zealand's bowling is usually their strong suit. But I think coming to Colombo, they will like the conditions much more. They have Matt Henry with the new ball, and Matt Henry isn't a very fast bowler, but he's very clever with his seam and swing and movement around the pitch, and that will trouble our openers specifically because they're not the greatest versus movement. And in the middle, then they have Mitch Santner, who is the best left-arm spinner in the world, in my opinion. And our batting lineup does not fare well versus left-arm spin. So these are the two biggest threats, I think, from their bowling. And I just hope that the management has developed plans to counteract these threats, although we could get bulldozed otherwise.
Yeah, and if we talk about the batting, do they have like strong batters that we should be like, planning about and be careful about also?
So New Zealand is basically set up, ever since they dropped Kane Williamson, they're set up as a power play bashing team. And Pakistan has actually bore the brunt of it in New Zealand when they have toured for series there. When Finn Allen and Tim Seifert opened the batting, 100 in the power play is not out of the question on a flat pitch. But Pakistan has seen that like when the game gets away from them in the power play, it's very difficult to pull the game back then in the middle overs. They saw this in the last game versus India, where Ishan Kishan basically just took the game away from them in the first 8 overs and they were just left chasing it then. So they have to be very on the ball and consider who are their power play bowling options, because if they gee up someone like Fahim to Tim Seifert and Finn Allen on a flatter pitch than the one versus India, you could see an over go for 20, 22, and that would be very detrimental to Pakistan's chances of pulling them back in the power play. So Pakistan have to have a specific plan of who are our power play bowlers and do we have enough power play bowlers? Because currently I think only Salman Mirza is a bankable option versus this New Zealand opening partnership.
Okay, so how hopeful are we to win this match? Is it going to be an easy win? Is it going to be like, you know, we will be struggling a bit? What do you think?
I'd be very surprised if it's an easy win, but I think we are a pretty evenly matched team because we are playing in conditions that are suited to our spinners. So I do think that Pakistan not should win, but they have a definite good chance of winning if the plans are executed properly and if they come in with the thinking that what New Zealand are going to do and what are we going to do.
Okay, and I think it is very necessary for them to plan properly and go prepared, and because if they want to go ahead, move ahead in the tournament, they have to win the games, right? All 3 of them, I'm assuming, if I'm not wrong.
Winning all 3 would make it a lot easier, but this New Zealand game in particular is very important for Pakistan because obviously starting the Super 8s with a win would give a bit of comfort, because usually in the Super 8s, if you win 2 games out of 3, you're usually good. Sometimes it comes down to net run rate, but usually 2 games and you're safe. So getting 1 win out of the way would definitely relax the team, because otherwise you're looking at a scenario where you have to win every game.
वो वही फिर कैलकुलेशन वाली मीम्स जो मेरे हमेशा जहन में आती है जब मैं सवाल करती हूँ कि अब क्या कैलकुलेशन होगी तो हम आगे जाएंगे, क्या होगा क्या नहीं होगा. इंडिया वाला मैच वाज लाइक रियली डिजास्टर्स. सबके मोरल्स काफ़ी लो हो गए, सब बहुत डिप्रेस्ड और एंगर में थे सारी चीज़ें. बट आई थिंक दिस विन or a big win. I mean, I was reading the stats. This is like the biggest win for Pakistan so far. I mean, like good news everywhere. So me and Raiyan will catch you again post New Zealand wala match, and you guys can also comment and let us know what are your thoughts. कौन जीत रहा है, कितनी अच्छी तरह जीत रहा है, struggle करेंगे या नहीं. Also off camera Raiyan ने मुझे एक stat बताया है कि since हमारा second highest win is against Netherlands, हमने वो टूर्नामेंट जीता था. ऑस्ट्रेलिया ऑल्सो गॉट नॉक्ड आउट एंड ऑब्वियसली रमज़ान इज़ हियर. सो सारी दुआएं पाकिस्तान के साथ है. वी ऑब्वियसली वांट आवर टीम टू गो अहेड एंड विन. We will come back and speak with you guys after New Zealand versus Pakistan. And this is me, Madiha, and Raiyan signing off. Take care.